Seeing somebody with the, little keys, first apartment, first property picture on Instagram, and you really start to think like, damn, like, what am I for my thing? Like, what's going on with me? Like, welcome guys, and welcome to my channel. For those that are new here, welcome, join the family. My name is Tyra, and if you are returning to my channel, thank you for coming back. I'm back with a brand new series, as you can tell by the title of this video, and it's called Note to Self. So in short, Note to Self is just me sitting down in front of the camera and offloading what I've been thinking, feeling, seeing as of late, and just talking about it really. I feel like, us as humans, a lot of the time we're really hard on ourselves and we like bottle up our emotions and don't necessarily talk about things or talk about things that didn't go right. And I feel like I want this to be a space for me and also you guys to just talk about those kind of things, because at the end of the day, we're all going through the same thing to an extent. We're all, on this journey we call life. We're all going through the human experience, so why not share the experience as we go along? So that's what Note to Self is all about. And for the first episode of Note to Self, I'm going to be talking about comparison. So I'm going to be going through that comparison, all the things that comes with it. So if you would like to hear me chat off about that, then make sure you subscribe to my channel and just keep on watching. So comparison, let's talk about it. Specifically self-comparison. I know that thing can get real ugly real fast, and it's like people don't even want to talk about it. Like, it fully happens. So with comparison, I feel like it really does pull you into this cycle where you start looking externally and outside of yourself. You start looking at what other people are doing, what they're achieving, the goals they're setting, the goals they're achieving, and you kind of just start to divert your focus away from you. And obviously that can lead to a bunch of things and a bunch of disasters and a bunch of like low moments. And more times than none, you will find that eventually it starts chipping away at your self-confidence, and you really start doubting yourself. And I've definitely been in a position where that has happened to me recently, and I feel like when you are in that place where you kind of doubting your abilities and yourself a bit, it's kind of hard to pull yourself out of that. And the trouble is, the moment you start comparing yourself to other people, what they have, what they wear, what they're doing, what they look like, how successful they are, is the moment contentment ends. Like, when I tell you contentment dies when you start doing that, like, it really does, and you really start to think like, damn, like, what am I for my thing? Like, what's going on with me? Like, why do I feel like I'm not achieving these things, or why do I feel like I'm not worthy or good enough? So I wanted to touch on social media and comparison because I feel like it's an environment that we can't necessarily escape. Jobs have been created around social media, my job specifically, and even in everyday life, you find yourself online. You're on Twitter, you're on Instagram. I mean, nobody really goes on Facebook, but but yeah, every day you find yourself on these apps, these social media apps, and what is presented on there at this stage, because I feel like in the early stages, Instagram was really a place where you could just post whatever, your raw, unedited, rugged self. But now it's very much a business and a commodity. So the things you see online most of the time are, as people say, snapshots of people's best side, their best life, their best moment. And rarely do you ever see, the reality of people's lives, the low moments. And for some people that can really take a toll on them, especially if you're in a business that is quite competitive. So for example, if you're a content creator, or if you're just somebody that has an online presence, it can either go one or two ways. So you can see the things that people are achieving, the houses getting bought, the bags getting bought, them improving their lives and their bodies and themselves, and take that as a motivation and think, yeah, like, I can do that too. But don't get me wrong, there are people, and I feel like this can even be in the same person, where yes, you can one day feel that, by what you see other people do, you're motivated to do well yourself. But let's not lie, like, there's moments where you're thinking like, I'm not achieving the same results as these people. Like, I'm looking at said person or this group of people and thinking I should be where they are, why aren't I there? And it kind of then leads you down a rabbit hole. But yeah, it's kind of a hard environment to be in, and I feel like especially if you're somebody that continuously creates content, you're gonna have felt that at some point, and that's on there. So with all these images we're seeing on a day-to-day basis, literally from the moment we wake up, because that's when most people look at their phones, to the time we go to sleep, you know, people are on social media on their phones for like more than 6 hours. It's actually crazy. I feel like it's really created this environment, or should I say it's really nurtured this environment where people are labeling, people are judging, people are comparing. I mean, you even heard on what was the documentary? They were talking about how, you know, people have Snapchat filters and they're using Snapchat filters more, and they're starting to compare the real image of themselves to the filtered version of themselves so much that, you know, some people are going to get plastic surgery to look like their filtered self. That's an extreme, I know, but we cannot deviate from the fact that this environment has an effect on us. I mean, people been saying, but you know, it really does have an effect and takes a toll. So yes, we know this is the environment we're in every day. Yes, we know this is happening. People are comparing, people are doing this, that, and the third. But you see me, I'm a solution-based babe. I don't believe in talking about a problem and not bringing solutions to the table. So me being the good friend that I am, being the good babe that I am, I'm actually gonna share with you guys a few tips, tricks, and just like coping mechanisms, I guess you could say. So here are a few of my tips on how to stop comparing yourself to others. Before we get into the tips, full disclaimer, if you see me looking down, mind your damn business. No, just joking. I'm just referring to the notes for my tips, because you know, a babe wants to come thorough and make sure you guys receive the full fat tip. That, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anyways, let me keep it PG. So tip number 1 is to check yourself. And when I say check yourself, I mean assess where these negative feelings and comparisons are coming from. Like, you actually have to take responsibility for your life and start looking at where and why you are feeling these things. Like, why is it that you're comparing yourself to other people? So if you're feeling down, if you're feeling FOMO, if you feel that you've noticed a dip in your self-esteem after, you know, seeing that somebody's purchased their first home, their first property, and you've seen it on social media, you need to assess, why am I comparing myself? Period. So using the house as an example, you know, seeing somebody with their, you know, little keys, first apartment, first property picture on Instagram, when you see that, you need to think, why am I feeling this way? Is it because I'm at home, I'm in my parents' house, I don't have my own space? Is it because, you know, I'm still saving and I haven't hit that goal where I can put down my 10% deposit? You know, is it because, you know, it's a house that you like, that you desire, that you want to move into yourself? Like, what is it that's making you feel this way? And I'm laughing because, you know, like, there's been many people that have purchased properties and purchased house in like this lockdown period, and you know, I really applaud them. People be working hard, you know, people be getting their coins so they can, you know, tick off things on their bucket list and, you know, tick off their goals. But for those that are viewing and watching, I know there are people that have felt that, and if you have felt that, you need to assess. Sit down, honey, sit down, assess, and think about why you're comparing yourself. Personally, I found that it's usually rooted in the fact that you don't have what you want just yet. And to that, I just say, like, direction is way better than speed. I know it's hard to hear that when you see these things on social media, when you see people achieving goals, but trust me, direction is better than speed. Your time will come, but I will get into running your own race and going at your own speed later on in this video, because that's actually something that I use to keep my mind at bay. So like I was saying, take time to get to the root of things. It's gonna be hard. It's not no little man thing. Like, it's a hard thing to do, to like face front and face reality and look at why you're behaving the way you're behaving, or why you're thinking the way you're thinking, or feeling the way you're feeling. But at the end of the day, it has to be done, because you need to clock the patterns and the triggers that are causing you to feel this way. And I feel like without looking at the root cause of why you're feeling like this, it's hard to take yourself out of that cycle. And you know, I always say it's your mindset that changes first. So if you're not able to look at the root and track back mentally why you think that way, you know, your behavior is not necessarily going to change. You're always going to find yourself being triggered and put in that cycle. So yeah, definitely do that. Now, the second tip I've actually done recently, I actually went on a social media cleanse for a little while. I've actually done this, I did it in the very first lockdown that we had, and I did it for a month. But you don't have to go that extreme. I kind of just did it to do it, and kind of like, there's times in your life where you need to like switch off, and there's other times in your life when you need to be active. And for me personally, you know, I took off a month off social media just because I needed to. It wasn't necessarily because of comparison, but you know, a lot of the time if you are caught in that comparison cycle, that might mean that you need to take some time off of social media. Now, for people that have jobs in social media like myself, if you're an influencer, if you're a content creator, that might be very hard and extreme because you know, your job depends so much on you being present online. But I feel like if you don't have a job like that, do try to do it because it does have its benefits. I feel like if you don't want to go to that extreme, find a happy medium. So maybe spend less time on your phone in the morning. Not picking up your phone in the morning is one way that you can start reducing your time on social media. Instead of waking up and reaching for your phone first thing, why not, you know, do something else, you know, read a book, watch some TV, listen to some music, you know, do your skincare, do something else first right after you've woken up, so the things that you see on social media isn't setting the tone for your day, especially if you're going on social media and seeing these things that are triggering you and you're on social media and it's like a bad vibes city. So the third and final tip I have for you guys in terms of pulling yourself out of the comparison cycle is to cleanse your social media. Cleanse your social media, please. This is my favorite thing to do. Like, I love doing this. I love this song. Like, cleansing my social media, I do it so often. Block, delete, unfollow, mute. I don't like this. I want to see less of this. Like, I do it all the time. I'm really a big advocate of controlling what you see. You know, a lot of the times the things you see, you take in subconsciously, and it can have an effect on you. And in terms of social media and comparison, being able to control and cleanse your social media is gonna come in handy so much. So what I would do is literally go onto your social media and start unfollowing anybody that makes you feel a certain way when you see it. Just do it. I guarantee you'll feel better. Whatever you have to do in order to create a less triggering environment, please do it, because that's going to be the thing that's going to pull you out of this self-comparison cycle. So backtracking a bit to where I mentioned direction is better than speed, let's talk about and touch on running your own race, because running your own race, wow, is so important. Like, so important. So the fastest way to kill something special and to kind of just dim your light on what you've got going on is to look over your shoulder at what other people are doing. To look over your shoulder is to take your eye off the finish line and ultimately your goal. And I remember I went to an event by this black woman called Velma, and she was hosting a paneled live talk with a bunch of people in the music industry, and specifically she had Karen Civil on the panel. So for those that don't know about Karen Civil is basically like a social media manager or like entrepreneur, and she's helped, you know, people with their social media and digital media campaigns such as like Lil Wayne, the Hold of Young Money, Nicki Minaj, Nipsey Hussle, Mac Miller, etc. Like she's that woman. I asked her a question about what is the most valuable lesson you've learned along in your career, and she said, and I'm going to read it, she said, focus on the road, focus on what you need to, which is my business, career, where I'm going, and don't let distractions, maybe other people's success, other things happening, other people's negativity, deteriorate me from where I'm going. Trust me, I know it's easier said than done, but you have to remember you can't faithfully follow what you're called to do or chosen to do if you keep comparing yourself. You really have to focus in on, you know, getting to where you need to be at your own pace. So for me, you know, with this YouTube channel, I've really felt that, like, I really felt like, damn, why haven't I reached a certain amount of subscribers? And this time, you know, this person's reached this amount of subscribers, I haven't. They've got X amount of views. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've thought that a couple times, but you know, what's meant for me is meant for me, and at the end of the day, I'm happy to play the long ball. I'm happy to, you know, do the slow grind if it means that it's my path and it's my journey. You know, it really made me think about the fact that God cannot bless who you pretend to be. He can only bless you, so there's no point comparing, trying to make yourself like somebody else. Just be yourself. You'll get there when you need to get there, and when you get there, it's going to be a completely different experience to anybody else that's got there, and it's going to be unique to you, and that's on period. And you guys know me, you know I love affirmations, so when I do find myself in these situations, I do have affirmations ready in clutch, just to ring off so that I can just uplift myself and kind of change the direction of my energy. The first one is, my journey and walk is completely unique to me. So I can't win your race and you can't win mine, and there's a specific race I have to run, and that race is different to everybody else's race for a reason. Like I was saying, there is a reason you're going through what you're going through and somebody else isn't. There's a reason why it's taken you maybe longer and it's taken them quicker. Maybe you need to appreciate something, so when you get to your final destination, you appreciate it more. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's just certain things that you need to go through sometimes along your journey, and at the end of the day, you know, it's gonna make you who you are and kind of make you who you are on your journey. So the second thing I tend to tell myself is that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So word to Nipsey Hussle, it really is a marathon, and you know, you can't judge your journey by what you see today. Like, I always try to tell myself, you know, what you are going to achieve is far beyond what you can see at the moment. Like, God is going to bless you with far more than you can even think or imagine for yourself. Like, it's going to be abundant, it's going to be crazy. So like, don't even sweat about what you can see at the moment. Just keep going, like, keep continuing, because just continue. Wow, Tyra. Wow. Just continue. I mean, sometimes when God really wants to, you know, create a result in your life and take you beyond what you can see, he puts you in a pressure cooker. Sometimes he puts you in a crock pot. Sometimes he puts you in an incubator. You know, it's going to be different conditions, different environments, but at the end of the day, it's going to, whatever environment you're in, is going to take you to that part. It's going to take you to that fruitful moment, and you will get to your goal eventually. Like, you will, if you keep going. Like I said, you're gonna get there. And that I can't tell you how many times I've actually had to tell that to myself. Just keep going. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, your harvest will come, the rain will come. Like, these are the things I say to myself all the time. And last but not least, you need to affirm this. All the things that you want, all the goals that you want to achieve, all the visions and, you know, realities you want for your life, you need to affirm it. For me, I have affirmation that is, I am worthy of all the things I want, even the things that feel out of reach. Today, I'm getting one step closer to achieving all of my goals. Everything I need is being provided. Abundance, wealth and success are flowing towards me, and they're flowing towards you too. And I want you, after this video, to write that down and repeat it every day, because it's going to happen. And stop this comparison stuff. You have everything you need in order to get to where you need to go, and all you have to do is keep continuing and sort out your social media. So yeah guys, that is the end of the video. I'm really glad to be back filming, and I really enjoyed this video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this series. I really do want to keep doing more on my channel, and like I was saying, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I have a bunch of new content coming through, and you're gonna want to see that. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.